What is going on, everybody? It's the Francis, and we're here for a Smackdown review for last night's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. We're on the road to the Royal Rumble, which will be coming to you the final Sunday of this month. We have Bray Wyatt's Fiend getting into the head of Daniel Bryan some more. The Miz, Morrison back together. I don't think Morrison should have had his return yet, but somebody decided to bring Morrison back. He was in Miz's corner for a rematch from last week's episode of Smackdown. Last night's episode of Smackdown just felt like it was a lot of 50-50 booking. You had Miz and Kofi Kingston. Miz lost last week, Miz wins this week. You had, let me see here, what matches do we have here? We had Alexa Bliss and Mandy Rose. That one really didn't have a 50-50 to it, but Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks didn't never happen, which we'll get into that later. Nakamura, Braun Strowman. This pays off of what happened last week with Braun Strowman beating Cesaro. Let's see here. We also had the Usos in the main event against Corbin and Ziggler. Yawn. It just feels like SmackDown is not as bad as it was about a month ago, but it's not going to get any better until they stop putting Corbin in the main event. The show started off with The Miz. He comes out to some boos. He welcomes us and says, he's changed. He says last week he was just having a bad day like we all have. Miz goes on and apologizes to Kofi. Fans boo. Miz says he's been going through a lot lately. He talks about the Universal Champion, The Fiend, messing with his family. Miz goes on and brings out his guest, John Morrison. Out comes Morrison. No slow-mo entrance for this guy. What happened to that? Did that, go away from him? Did that disappear when he left, and when he comes back, he doesn't get it anymore? It's a welcome back chant. Well, Miz welcomes his former tag team partner back and says he uses this a lot, but this is truly awesome. Fans join in on that one. Miz brags about Morrison's 3 Intercontinental titles, a couple tag team titles, 2 with him. He shows us what he called a sizzle reel highlight package of Morrison from his time before. There's who they're still calling the Shaman sexy. Miz says from the bottom of his heart, welcome back. Morrison says WWE was filming a documentary about his return at the Royal Rumble. It was going to be big plans at the Rumble, and says it was going to be epic. But after that talk on the WWE's bump a few weeks ago, I realized it was more important, especially seeing what you've been going through. It's more important for me here for my friend. I came to SmackDown last week, and it's a good thing I did, because after what happened with Kofi last week, I realized I'm disappointed. And you guys, he's talking to the fans start to boo. This goes on about how his friend had Morrison said his friend had one bad day, and you chant you suck? Morrison says Miz has worked harder than anyone else in the roster for 15 years. People didn't want him to be in the business. Nobody wanted him to be on this roster. And he got through all that, and he's been here working his ass off, not for him, not for the guys in the back, but for you guys. Morrison goes on about how fans wouldn't last if they got in the ring. He starts taking shots at fans, calling one a douchebag, I can't remember what the other name was. The music interrupts, and out comes the New Day. Kofi asks Miz who he's trying to fool. The New Day doesn't buy that pokey apology because he's a bad actor. Big E said something about his audition for being the back half of a dog costume, and he's like, I seen the tapes, you nasty. I'm like, what is with Big E in this? I don't even know. Kofi says he would have respected Miz more if he said he had a bad day last week, like we all have. That would have been respectful. What he did was not. Miz knocks Kofi for his WWE title reign and says, I respect the fact that you held that title for 6 months, kept that thing respectable. I also respect the 6 seconds that it took for you to lose it. Miz doesn't respect Kofi. Kofi defends his title loss and says Miz is changing from cool Miz to obnoxious, annoying Miz, which is the best Miz, by the way. What that means to people are 100% correct is that you suck. You suck chance start back up. The New Day's music hits to exit segment. Paul hypes Kofi versus Miz, the rematch for tonight, and we go to commercial break. Back from break, and we have The Miz versus Kofi Kingston. Big E and John Morrison are on commentary to start this match, but they're not there for long, as after we get through the beginning of this match, Kofi with a suicide dive knocks The Miz back down. Kofi all smiles, but Miz shoves Kofi back into Big E's lap. Big E gets up, Morrison gets up, everyone's shouting, we go to commercial break. Back from break, Kofi and Miz are in the ring. Morrison and Big E are on the outside, cheering their boys on. Kofi, Miz gets some yes kicks in. Please stop doing the yes kicks. They look awful. Kofi ducks and kick. Miz blocks the SOS. Kofi blocks the Call Question finale. Kofi with a roll up for a 2. Kofi comes back and hits the SOS for a close 2 count. Miz focuses on the knee in the corner. Miz charges in the corner with the 2 high knees, but Kofi blocks the 3rd and with a kick to the head. Kofi goes to the top but comes up short and his knee goes out. Miz applies the figure 4 in the middle of the ring. I honestly thought they were going to have a spot where Kofi goes to try and move it over, like turn it over, but Miz brings it back over and Kofi taps out. That did not happen. He did get to the ropes. Kofi rolls to the floor for a breather. Miz comes out and brings him in after a couple shots. Miz actually kicked Big E away so he can get to Kofi. Miz and E have some words, but now E is backing Miz up. Morrison runs over the top of the steps, leaps over, does a cannonball of sorts, a cannonball kick, and stands over Big E as he knocks him down. Miz returns to the ring and capitalizes on the distraction. Call Question finale. 1, 2, 3. Say yes. Miz 50-50 books with Kofi. Morrison's very first match back will not be the Royal Rumble, which is where he should have made his return. His return will be into the ring will be next week against Big E. Sasha Banks vs. Lacey Evans is supposed to happen tonight, plus Braun Strowman and Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura and the Usos versus King and Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. We get a new Firefly Funhouse. We see Universal Champion Bray Wyatt. He tells the fan in the Funhouse camera to come closer. Come closer. I want to say something. Come closer. I love you. He says that. He's like, and you get the, aww. That felt good, he says. Love is special, but not everyone is capable of it. Wyatt says he's looking at Daniel Bryan in this case. He says the Fiend feels the opposite of love for Bryan. Wyatt can't say he blames him because Bryan has been really naughty lately. Really, really naughty. Wyatt says Bryan will be in trouble at the Royal Rumble when he faces the Fiend. He says the Fiend wants Bryan to remember. And then they show flashes of what everyone figured this was about. The 2015, January of 14, when Daniel Bryan joined the Wyatt family, then in a cage match, turned on Bray Wyatt, with the crowd going completely crazy for this moment. And he wanted to change Bryan. Now he wants to hurt Bryan because Bryan wants to take this from us. Holding the Universal title. It's just automatically like, goodbye. I love you. Not you, Bryan, but I love everyone else. And that was it for the Firefly Funhouse. We all figured this was the way it was going. It's interesting they finally now decide to bring up the fact that happened in the past. You know, it's the only real logical thing of why they would have Bray Wyatt attack Daniel Bryan. But better late than never, I should say. So Reveal and Mandy goes backstage, man. Reveal's getting ready, talking about how this is going to be their year. It's all going to start tonight because I'm going to be in your corner. And then she tries to say something to Mandy as Mandy's getting ready. Reveal is hyped up by a desired tag team. Rose is distracted by something. She tells Reveal she'll be right out, but she has something to do first. Reveal leaves and Rose picks up a box apparently from it's a white box. She opens it up. We don't see what's inside, and she just smiles and looks nervous. Obviously, this is for Otis. We go to the ring and Elias is out with his guitar. He begins playing his new song. For the crowd that clap along with him, Elias sings about the Royal Rumble and takes shots at champion Brock Lesnar. Says he's not afraid to talk like Lesnar is. Goes on singing and must have some miscommunication as he says he beats Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. He will show Brock the door, but at the Rumble, he will show Brock that WWE stands for. And that was it. Nice little song here. For Elias, I don't know what this is leading to, if this is just going to be his thing. This is actually probably the best thing they have for him. He's the... Why would you pay for, a skillet or, Nickelback or somebody else to come in when you have Elias to sit there and go do your concerts for you. He could be the one sitting there singing and making up songs as he goes. So good on him. Heavy Machinery is backstage. Tucker is trying to cheer Otis up, who looks like he's in a very upsetting mood. He says he's trying to get Otis in a better mood, trying not to focus on Mandy. When Rose walks up to talk about what happened as of late, Tucker wants Otis to come with him. Rose admits she should have said something to Dolph Ziggler, but wants to make it up for him what went down. She had her mother bake a cake, and she gives to Otis. It says, "I'm sorry," on the cake. Otis is speechless. Mandy walks off, and she gets to a match, and we go to commercial. Obviously, this cake was found at the local convenience store because that's what cakes look like when you're at a local convenience store. I have made multiple cakes at home because you get one of those Betty Crocker cake things, and my cakes never look like that. Or I've seen cakes made that never look like that, except for in store bought. That is a store bought cake. Not saying it's a bad thing. For store bought cakes, also give you those icings that are like on a off the Richter scale when it comes to sugar. So we get Alexa Bliss versus Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose was making her entrance, and Corey Graves mentioned how he got caught looking at Mandy Rose's Instagram account, and he's been sleeping on the couch, which I thought was hilarious. So these two women have a match here. Not a bad match, not the best match ever, but not a bad match. Better than Chris Statlander versus Riho, and that's not because Riho and Chris Statlander ain't better than these two, but that's neither here nor there. So they're having this match. Bliss mounts a comeback with a clothesline. They trade slaps, and Bliss drops Rose with one. Bliss shows off the crowd for a big pop. Bliss goes to drop to the double knees. She does her double knee thing where she drops down on her knees and then does a flip around. When all of a sudden, Heavy Machinery comes out. Otis with his big cake coming down to the ramp. Tucker also comes down to stand with Otis on the ramp. He's trying to get him to come back. All you see is this guy just like this. He wants some of the good sweet stuff, and I'm not talking about the cake. Rose, Bliss is distracted. Like, what the hell are these two doing? Rose takes advantage, rolls her up 1, 2, 3, and that is your winner. After the match, DeVille joins Rose in the ring as the music hits. Otis eats cake on the ramp, making a mess of it with his fingers. He stares Rose down. Tucker's enjoying some cake. DeVille looks unsure but humored by everything, and Rose looks like she is interested to see. She looks more interested in Otis than you think she would. Back from break, after we come back, and out comes Lacey Evans. She stops and kneels to a young fan to kiss her hand. She also hits the ring. She also pats her, she takes her, whatever that thing is, that handkerchief, pats her face a little bit, and then hands it to a little girl. And the expression, the joy that this little girl got on her face, just is like everything that everybody in WWE strives for. So she gets to the ring, takes her hat off, puts it on Greg Hamilton's head, and pokes him on the nose. I don't know why, but that just popped the hell out of me. Sasha Banks' music hits, but she is not coming out. We see Bayley on the Titantron. She appears on the screen and takes a shot at Evans before announcing that Sasha, even a jarhead like you, should understand this. She is AWOL. She made a last-second commitment in a real city tonight, Los Angeles, and some recording time, some studio time came open, so she wanted to go finish her rap album. Bayley says she's only here tonight because she's champion and she's contractually obligated to. Really? You're contractually obligated to be here, but Brock Lesnar's not. Interesting. Evans takes the mic and says she's not surprised Banks isn't here. She says while Banks is hanging out in Los Angeles, she's here and she's ready to fight, especially in the heartland of America, which the USA chants start. I know it's gonna be a little controversial, but I'm tired of hearing the USA chants because they get overdone and overused. Hell, I mean, there's times we get USA chants when nobody from the USA is in the ring. Like when Rusev was the Bulgarian Brute in the evil foreign heel going up against Sheamus, who's from Ireland, or Scotland, Ireland. And you hear USA chants, it's like, people are really stupid. Evans says Banks is nothing but a nasty and not here, while Bayley is running her mouth and not acting like a champion. She challenges Bayley to come out and put her title on the line. Bayley says she's not Evans' snot-nosed kid and doesn't have to listen to her. Evans drops the mic and marches to the back. We cut to the back and Evans being attacked by, as she gets to Bayley's locker room. She opens the door, but Bayley comes from behind and shoves her into the door. Beats on her a bit, tells her to put her mom jeans on and go home. Bayley walks up, but Evans gets back up and does the beatdown this time and looks for the woman's right, but Bayley scurries off, scared as can be. But a referee pulls Evans away and tells her, calm down and save it for the ring. And now to show us what happened between the Universal Champion The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Daniel Bryan last week. And Bryan is backstage with Caitlin Braxton now. Bryan talks about what Wyatt said earlier. He admits The Fiend changed him, but it said it was for the better, and he's now more dangerous. He has no doubt The Fiend will be hurt at Royal Rumble, but The Fiend can't break him physically or mentally, says The Fiend. Wants everyone to think he can't be hurt or beaten, but he doesn't like the fact that Bryan knows that he can beat and can hurt him. Bryan says he's going to do it for the Universal title. He goes to leave, but behind him is the monitor, and Rambling Rabbit shows up on the screen. Rabbit is in the 505 Funhouse. Rambling Rabbit says he's the biggest fan. He does a couple yes chants. He doesn't have all the time, but The Fiend is beatable, and he knows the secret that will allow Bryan to win the title. The secret is Wyatt's hand comes over, the hurt hand comes over, and squeezes Rambling Rabbit, so he can't speak. Silly Rabbit, Wyatt says. He says, remember kids, snitches get stitches. Bryan looks on as Wyatt laughs, and then he gets serious, staring at the camera, and just says, let me in. And that was that. We go to the ring for Nakamura versus Braun Strowman. Why do I want to? This match is, of course, going to set up for a match at the Royal Rumble between these two. My question is, why do I want to see that match at the Royal Rumble when I just seen it here? Why do I want to see Shinsuke Nakamura versus Braun Strowman? Why? Why? I couldn't tell you. This match was to okay to All I know is that this feud can end anytime. Can you believe Shinsuke Nakamura has been Intercontinental Champion since, what is it? Shinsuke Nakamura has been Intercontinental Champion since at least Extreme Rules. Right? Yeah, since Extreme Rules, right? Yeah. And hasn't done anything with it. Cesaro tries to get in the ring with the steel chair towards the end of this match, but the referee turns around immediately. Braun charges and knocks Cesaro out of the ring. Sammy tosses the belt to Nakamura. Nakamura swings, but Braun somehow ducks it. Braun comes right back and scoops Nakamura up for a power slam. Braun covers the pin for the win. 1, 2, 3. Obviously going to lead to a match at the Royal Rumble. After the match, Braun stands tall. He raises the air and he grabs the title, raises in the air. But that Sly, Sami Zayn runs in, grabs the title, and runs out. We get a backstage promo from Sheamus, who I guess only made a one-night return. He says, rise over size. Embrace who you are. Surely Chad Gable has been saying a lot of things, but he didn't say anything last week. As I showed that little rat just how much SmackDown is about to change now that I've returned. He knocked Gable down, but Gable didn't rise again. That represents all the ills and problems that has infested SmackDown since I've been gone. Small isn't something to be embraced, it's something to be crushed and disposed of. Sheamus says last week he proved that size does matter. Gable says embrace who you are, and Sheamus agrees. Since I returned, I am ready to embrace chaos. Oh really, Sheamus? Let me know when that chaos actually comes to be, because I didn't see it last week. Just hitting a bro kick on Chad Gable didn't show that you have chaos coming. Back for break, and we go to break, we come back, and Daniel Bryan is walking into the locker room, and there's a red present, red gift. Opens it up, and I'm thinking severed Rambling Rabbit head. Close, it was Rambling Rabbit dead with his one eye and ear missing, so Rambling Rabbit again is dead. This is a running gag. Daniel Bryan just looks at it, and he just see this like a look on him like, man, I'm sick and tired of this. I gotta stop this guy. Roman makes his way to the ring, pyro goes off, he heads to the ramp and greets the fans at ringside. We get a quick look back at what happened last week. Reigns takes the mic and says, 2019 was a blessed year, but it ended rough. I've been outnumbered, jumped, and even embarrassed by Corbin and his crew. He says, I've always had backup, but this time, I didn't need a friend to help me. This time, I needed my family. Reigns said his family came back last week and helped him in a major way, which is why he can firmly say 2020 is his year. Let's hope not. Oh, let's hope not. Reigns says he will win the Royal Rumble match and then go on to main event WrestleMania for the 5th time. Again, let's hope not. We've been through this 4 times already. All 4 times failed. The reason he main evented 4 years in a row was not because he was what worked the first 3 times worked. They did it 4 times in a row to try and get this guy from the starting position to the moon. He has not. They strapped the rocket to him, but the rocket continues to explode as WrestleMania goes off the air. He says he's going to do that with those who have been by his side since day one, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. Out come the Usos for the in-ring return. Fans pop for the Usos who take the mics. They say it feels good to be back on the blue brand. And they're about to turn Friday night into Friday night Smackdown into Friday night lockdown. It's been a rough been on the sideline for 5 months being away from this, but it's a rougher watching the big dog defend himself against Clean Corbin and his kingdom. Usos say Corbin disrespects Reigns with the big dog with dog food. For doing that, disrespected him. And then you disrespected him, you disrespected me. And you disrespected the entire family. Usos about to get real disrespectful because kings come and go, but blood is forever. They go to welcome Corbin to the Uso penitentiary, but out comes Corbin in his caravan with servants. Dolph Ziggler is right in front of them to stop all that. Corbin takes the mic and says Reigns is going to really throw his family under the bus because he is scared to face Corbin. Corbin goes on and says no one is winning the Rumble but the King. Reigns isn't scared of Corbin. He says he wants to beat Corbin's ass twice in one night. Suggests they wrestle before the match, and then Corbin can watch Reigns celebrate his big win. Corbin accepts and says after tonight, Reigns won't have any family because he and Ziggler are about to hand the big dogs 2 little bitches. Usos run and hop the ropes, leap over the top, taking out Corbin's crew. They return to the ring to join Reigns as the crowd pops and we go to commercial break. Back from break and we have ourselves a tag team match here. This was nothing special. Halfway through the match, out comes the Revival to make a distraction. Corbin shoves a distracted Jay off the top rope to hit the floor. Ziggler tags in to turn it around. Dash and Dawson back up the ramp as Corbin thanks them. Corbin shows off at the ringside with Reigns. Out comes Reigns again, who didn't stay at ringside for some reason. He comes out with a Superman punch and takes out the Revival on stage. Reigns heads down to the ring and Corbin sends Usos into the barrier. Back to commercial. Back from break, Jay unloads, hitting a big Samoan drop on Ziggler. The Usos mount more offense and send Corbin out. They go to double team, but one of the brothers gets shoved into Reigns as he goes down. Thanks to Corbin, Jay drops Ziggler on the ring. Jay goes to the top for a big splash. Corbin comes in and sends Jay into the post. Corbin sends Reigns back into the barrier. Corbin sends Jimmy back into the ring where Corbin comes over and nails Reigns comes over and nails a big spear on Corbin for the disqualification as referee calls for the bell. Corbin and Ziggler beat the Usos on their first night back. Wow. After the bell, Reigns is upset at ringside. He's had enough and clears the announce table and goes to powerbomb Corbin through it, but Robert Roode makes his return. Has it really been 30 days already? Wow. Roode destroys Reigns and Corbin hits him with a deep 6 on the ringside. Ziggler joins in with a big super kick and the boos get louder. Roode talks trash to Reigns, yelling about how he's back and this is his family. Corbin assists Roode as he nails a spinebuster to Reigns on top of the table. Table does not break. Ziggler looked at this like the table didn't break. What the hell? So he's like, you know what? Fine, we're gonna improvise. Reigns and Roode and Corbin hold him down as Ziggler goes on top and puts Reigns to the table with a big flying elbow. We go to replays. Corbin, Roode, and Ziggler bury Reigns under the announce table to breeze. Reigns did to Roode over a month ago. We go to more replays. Smackdown goes off the air as Corbin's music plays while Roode, Ziggler, and Corbin talk trash and taunt the big dog. So apparently, Roode is back already, and I would not surprise me next week. It's Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin versus the family. That's what it looks like. Again, something, if you missed it, you didn't miss anything. The matches on this show were just meh to bleh. Otis versus Mandy Rose is one of the only compelling things and most realistic things on this show. The only thing that you can actually get behind and it actually makes sense. I don't know what to say. Smackdown is not as bad as it was a month ago or when Shane McMahon was on here, but it's not much better at that. But that is your Smackdown review for last night's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Follow me on Twitter at The France Club, follow me on twitch.tv/The France Club, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Unscripted episode 102, when we're going to go on a major rant on how AEW is going to be failing if they don't fix a couple things and so much more. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.